and monitored by civil society organizations.
Another $23 million inflow from Abuja loot to the federal government coffers.
All violators of our electoral laws should be subjected. Don't leave that responsibility to INEC. We have no power to make arrests.
Plus, end in sight to electoral offences. Public hearing on commission to punish offenders opens in National Assembly. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. We're live in Abuja. I'm Ian Ray. John Adola Komiakere joins me from Lagos. Thank you for joining us. And just a quick update that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. The importance of sports has been brought to the fore tonight as the federal government says it will no longer tolerate attempts at inflicting injury on its football fortunes, describing the sport as a major tool for national unity, which must be safeguarded and treated as a national asset. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while receiving a 10-year master plan and roadmap for the development of football in Nigeria. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The Football Development Master Plan 2022 to 2032 is a deliberate attempt by the Buhari presidency at reversing the gradual decline in the development and administration of Nigerian football, which resulted in the national team struggling to make progress at international competitions. The document, now a guiding instrument for the administration of the game in the country, is a product of wide consultations amongst the best brains in the game, experienced technocrats, and other critical stakeholders.
The master plan will encapsulate functional strategies that will outlast this current administration, will set firmly in place the Nigerian football on a path of sustainable growth and development, and this, Mr. President, will be a legacy, and we thank you for your vision.
President Muhammadu Buhari expressed regret that in the past years, Nigeria's football development has stunted due to what he attributed to the neglect of the co-orientation of his administration, weak governance structure around Nigeria's domestic league, and compromised standards.
This government is interested in developing a football culture that will help the nation to lay a solid foundation for her domestic football. Put in place professionally and efficiently run leagues, entrench a consistent and stable football calendar, and create a value chain which will boost the sports ecosystem. Nigeria's football development must return to the path of focus on grassroots and youth development and an overall good governance structure around every level of its development. Nigeria now expects results.
The master plan, he said, presents to the world the seriousness and commitment of Nigeria to football development, and therefore directed the Nigeria Football Federation to own and faithfully implement the various stages enumerated in the document within time limits and in line with the aspirations of Nigerians.
I believe this will signal a positive turning point for our football and a major step forward in our bid to create a conducive environment for its sustainability and viability. Football is our #1 sport in Nigeria. It is our passion and a major tool for our unity, and so as a government, it is our responsibility to safeguard it and treat it as a national asset.
The Nigeria Football 10-year Development Master Plan has submitted by the 16-man committee headed by Ibrahim Galadima identified 15 key areas of challenge and provided practical recommendations to address these fundamental problems that have bedeviled football development in the country.
It is our hope and prayer that this work will assist government in fashioning out a comprehensive program for the development of football to the satisfaction of our youths and generality of Nigerians.
Once there is equitable representation in the Congress of the Nigeria Football Federation, then the opportunities for players would show up. Right now, it is lopsided. And I want to just appeal that the NFF should take the advice of the president to look into those issues very seriously.
The Nigeria Football Federation, now a custodian of the master plan, has a presidential mandate to particularly salvage domestic league and ensure that competent men and women are elected to run its affairs, even as the federal government promised to match its political will with the right laws and investments. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Turning our attention to bilateral relations now, President Muhammadu Buhari has made a case for the long-standing relations between Nigeria and India to be deepened and expanded so that their people and economies can derive maximum benefits. This was while granting audience to an Indian delegation led by the Minister of State for External and Parliamentary Affairs. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu again has the details.
Indian delegation is in Nigeria for the India-Nigeria Business Council meeting in Abuja. The minister, Valamveli Muralidharam, who brought greetings from Prime Minister Narendra Modi to President Muhammadu Buhari, described Nigeria as a center of engagement for India in Africa. The two countries, he said, have robust relations in business, defense, education, and many other areas. The minister said India, as the largest democracy in the world, is willing to partner with Nigeria towards the successful conduct of the 2023 general elections. President Buhari, who went down memory lane on his one-year training in the Asian country as a military officer, recalled that the 1973 visit was a very good experience, which became part of his success story in the military. To buttress the strong relationship between India and Nigeria, the president said the Nigerian Defense Academy was established by Indians and the two countries have firm relationship economically, politically, and in the area of security. He emphasized that Nigeria and India must continue to build on the highly beneficial relationship. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government is supporting the development of a world-class animation hub which can absorb a large number of young people in the country. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said this at the Nigeria-India Trade Forum in Abuja. Adibola Brookslyn reports.
Reports show that the global cultural industries are estimated to generate about $2.3 trillion annually, with about 30 million people employed in the sector worldwide. The creative industry is one of the nexuses between Nigeria and India, which has been generating about $15 billion annually.
Joint film production, joint music production, and film city. These three proposals were envisaged where the people from the Ministry of Information and Culture here and the people from Indian side who are involved in the Bollywood.
Focusing on the animation sector, the minister says, though it is in its early stages, it is promising.
The cost of production considerably cheaper than in other markets, and after proper training of its raw talent, Nigeria could become a new attractive option for global animation studios looking to outsource some of their work, following the model established by countries like India. The creation of an animation hub, possibly as part of the Media and Technology City, would allow individual animators or studios to share costs, create synergies, and collaborate on more ambitious projects.
The manufacturing sector is another area the collaboration with India is waxing stronger.
Especially in agricultural sector, we have so many things that India needed there, especially ginger and so many plants that are very important in their own pharmaceutical companies. So I'm very sure we will start exporting from Nigeria to India too.
The bilateral ties between Nigeria and India dates back to 1958. Adibola Brookslyn, NTA News.
Looking away from Nigeria-India relations, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says collaboration between the federal government and the private sector will not only ensure effective coordination of the infrastructure development across the nation and all sectors of the economy, it will also bridge the nation's infrastructural gaps. The Vice President did this while formally inaugurating the National Council on Infrastructure during a virtual meeting which he presided over. Vice President Osinbajo explained that for efficient and effective implementation of infrastructure projects, the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan recommended the establishment of the National Council on Infrastructure and its Technical Working Group. He further stated that the federal government's National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan was developed to provide an integrated view of infrastructure development in Nigeria with clear linkages across key sectors and identifies enablers for successful implementation in line with the current economic realities. The National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan takes stock of existing infrastructure and specifically sets out the goal of raising Nigeria's infrastructure stock to at least 70% by the year 2043. In other news, the collaboration between Nigeria and the United States of America has continued to yield the needed results with the repatriation of another $23 million Abuja loot. The repatriated fund will be used for the completion of 3 major projects across the country. Dele Atumbi will feed us.
Nigeria's decision to be a member of the Open Government Partnership since 2016 has been paying off with impacts on the citizens. The latest is the signing of the Coastal Asset Return Agreement between the governments of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the United States of America. This agreement is in relation to the repatriation of over $23 million to Nigeria. The fund is part of the Abuja loot stashed in the United States of America. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, SAN, signed on behalf of Nigeria, and the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Belt Leonard, signed on behalf of the United States of America.
The President's mandate to the Office of the Attorney General is to ensure that all international recoveries are transparently invested and monitored by civil society organizations.
Consistent with the standard applied to the previously repatriated $311.7 million, reports regarding the expenditure of these additional monies will be public documents. As a key partner deeply invested in Nigeria's success, we will continue to do our part to facilitate the recovery and return of the proceeds of corruption to the Nigerian people.
The repatriated fund is earmarked for the completion of Abuja-Kano Road, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and Second Niger Bridge. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Heading to Borno State now, a delegation led by the governor of Far North Region of Cameroon and sitting executive secretary of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum, Mijinyawa Bakari, is in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, for a 2-day working visit to Borno on regional stabilization strategy. Mohammed Goni reports that the delegation has paid a courtesy call on Governor Babagana Umar Zulum as part of its 2-day engagement.
Governor of the Far North Region of Cameroon Republic, Mijinyawa Bakari, appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari and President Paul Biya of Cameroon for authorizing the visit.
Their personal engagement in the fight against transborder insecurity in the Lake Basin, attachment to the ideas of peace and durable development have remained major security challenges.
Governor Bagana Umara appreciated President Paul Biya and Governor Mijinyawa of Far North Region for the hospitality accorded Nigerians refugees of Borno extraction at Minawao camp for over 7 years, noting the governor's frequent visits to the camp to ensure their welfare and assured the delegation of continued partnership.
The Regional Stabilization Facility has 3 main mandates. One of the mandates is to improve on the existing security situation that we have in the region. The second mandate is to provide infrastructure, and the last but not the least is to enhance the means of livelihood and above all, strengthen transport cooperation.
The Cameroonian delegation and officials of Borno State government, led by Governor Bagana Umara, commenced the 2-day engagement with UNHCR, UNDP and other INGOs in attendance, as well as key agencies responsible for implementation of regional stabilization strategy. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
This is the Network News. Time for a first break. Please stay.
Never again should this happen. We have passed through this path before, and it was not good for us. I remember the horror, the crime, the blood, dead bodies everywhere. I almost lost my mind. I could not sleep. I remember the cry of innocent children. Many lives were changed forever. We shall never go through that path again. Let us all stand in solidarity with our armed forces, our men and women. Oh, we must stand in truth, in honesty, to build a vibrant nation, a nation that you and I can be proud of.
The Federal Ministry of Health and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, in collaboration with partners, are commencing vaccination of children from 6 weeks of age against diarrhea caused by rotavirus from 22nd August 2022. The first dose of rota vaccine should be given to children at 6 weeks of age, second dose at 10 weeks, and the third dose at 14 weeks for full protection against diarrhea. The virus can cause severe watery diarrhea, vomiting, fever, and abdominal pain. Children who get diarrhea can become dehydrated and may need to be hospitalized. Caregivers with children under 1 year should visit the nearest health facility in their community to have their children vaccinated with 3 doses of oral rota vaccine. Protect your child now with rota and other vaccines against childhood killer diseases. Rota vaccine and all other vaccines are safe, effective, and free. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency with support from partners.
When we wanted to move faster and see more of the world, we found a way. We also found ways to connect beyond boundaries. And when an unprecedented pandemic tried to derail us, we found ways to get ahead.
Are we ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Ready. Ready. As your bank, we have stayed proactive, creating dynamic solutions and leveraging cutting-edge technology to drive global expansion into new markets. We rolled up our sleeves to be human together, doing more, innovating smarter, and always showing up for you. So come on board, let's give you more.
Access more than banking.
Every morning is an opportunity to take your hustle to the next level. Every morning is one day closer to your mission. So, make every morning count. Cup after cup, morning after morning. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
Fighter from Niger, 60 years of comfort. Quality is fighter food. Quality is fighter from for sure. It's fighter. Thank you for all the joy, memories of comfort.
Vitafoam is proudly Nigerian and constantly support Nigerians with consistent quality product for comfort and well-being. With Vitafoam, you don't just sleep, we give you the comfort that gets you recharged. Vitafoam, the fine art of living. We don't like to eat better. More nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. No cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic. And enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Thank you for staying. The federal government has inaugurated a 14-member ministerial task force, Expatriate Quota Administration Committee. Foreigners for mutual benefit is the tag for the inauguration, performed by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola. The policy will attract investments to the economy and also bring about high-level manpower development to ensure technology transfer, which is in line with the federal government's agenda of providing 100 million jobs for Nigerians.
Foreigners in your territory, when it is well followed, it fosters healthy economic, social, and cultural relationship among nations. In addition, it provides an effective means of documenting foreigners' presence, their activities, and ensuring their protection and well-being.
Issues relating to employing expatriates without approval from the ministry, obtaining fake permits for exports, not grooming Nigerians with non-commensurate remunerations also formed major parts of the committee's mandate. The committee is expected to provide ways to boost the country's economy through wealth creation, self-reliance, and provide job opportunities for Nigerians, especially the youthful population. In other news, the presidency has reacted to an editorial on the Guardian newspaper calling for the impeachment of President Muhammadu Buhari, describing the opinion as antagonistic and unprofessional. A statement by the presidential media aide, Garba Shehu: impeachment is a process undertaken after high crimes and misdemeanors have been proven. But of late, impeachment has become a partisan weapon wielded by those who have established a track record of hatred towards the president and an attempt to remove from office one who was democratically elected by the people. Quote, it's quite regrettable that the Guardian newspaper, a media platform that was the toast of the Pring family, had become partisan in its discourse on national issues. The Guardian newspaper may never be friend or ally of President Buhari, but it should know better than to support this headline-grabbing stunt. End of quote. The statement added. Let's talk public relations. The need to strengthen relationship and rebuild trust among Nigerians dominated discussions at the Citizen Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security convened by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and Partners. Haman Jabani reports that President Muhammadu Buhari was represented by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, at the forum.
The fallout of the seemingly rapid loss of hope in nationhood by the youth call for a new approach based on citizen participation that is solution-driven. This is among the reasons the summit is organized. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, commended Nigerian Institute of Public Relations for coming up with the Citizen Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security, which can serve as a good platform for contribution to the unity, peace and security of the country.
This summit could have come at a better time. The issues of peace, security and national unity on the front burner of our national discourse. The issues of peace and security have been on the lips of many Nigerians against the backdrop of rampaging terrorists, bandits and kidnappers.
We need to build industries. We need to make our industries to work and produce what we actually eat.
Other speakers say the summit will provide the need to get sectors working together through a credible, neutral and trusted platform.
The NIPR is in the best position to push forward this approach of uniting us, identifying the factors that divide us so that we will be able to surmount them.
We're not here to point accusing fingers
for the problems that seem to have besieged us. Rather, to lay out concrete solutions that will drive the attainment of a cohesive socio-political atmosphere within the nation.
The summit is believed to be a citizen-driven solution and action in partnership with other committed, credible platforms, as well as remobilize citizens for deeper patriotic participation in nation building.
We need a new leadership cadre in Nigeria to drive the Nigerian vision and liberate the Nigerian people.
It's not about the people in authority alone. It is about everyone, especially the quagmire of the problem of insecurity we are facing in this country should be everybody's business.
The two-day citizen summit will look at Nigeria, where the nation missed it, the need to rethink and return, among other sub-themes. The summit will run for initial 10 years. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Many thanks, Hamman. And joining me live in the studio is Mukhtar Zubairu Sarajo, President and Chairman of Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Many thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so every section of the country has one grievance or the other, and of course, living together in peace and harmony has become a bit difficult, and I'm sure that's why the NIPR put together this summit. Could you speak to us on that, and how you came about the summit?
Well, yes, different people in a heterogeneous society like Nigeria, people having one grievance or the other is normal, but how you handle it is where the problem lies. There are no two people that are the same. There are no two people that see things always from the same perspective, because everybody is coming from somewhere, and where you're coming from to a very great extent shapes your perception of things and issues. Now, but the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations became worried at the descent into the abyss, or the seeming descent into the abyss that relationships in the country are sinking into. And the core mandate of the public relations profession is actually in relationship building and relationship mending.
Okay, so how do you intend, to sustain, or rather maintain this conversation on the Citizen Summit for the initial 10 years?
Well, before I come into that, I think we need to let the viewers know why we actually decided to come in, rather. If you go down memory lane, you would realize that relationships in this country have seen better days. We used to have a system, a country in which people were one, we saw ourselves as one, we related to one another as one, we were not concerned about where we came from, what God we worshipped, what tribes we belonged to. As long as the relationships gelled, we were good to go. You were free to go to wherever you wanted to in this country, but the situation is no longer the same. Trust has been overtaken by mistrust. Even communication is now the variant of communication. So we decided that, look, it is not irretrievable. This country has seen better relationships, and since it has happened in the past, we can retrace our steps, ask ourselves the necessary, even if difficult, questions as to where we missed it, and then begin to come back to our senses in such a way that we can live peacefully without having to agree on virtually everything. We can agree to disagree. And we want a situation in which the diversity with which God has created us is looked at and seen by the people as the blessing that it was meant to be by God. But the way we are doing it now is that we are sitting it on its head. We have turned it into a curse. Developed societies that are smart are able to harness diversity, with everybody bringing to the table their various endowments for the benefit of the whole. But in our situation, our diversity has been turned into a curse, and so the Institute felt there needed to be put a stop to this descent into the abyss, and we decided to bring together like-minded associations, individuals, socio-cultural, whatever,
All right, that's a good move by the Institute. The Citizen Summit at the zonal level, and now you have moved to the national level. How do you intend to implement the outcome from these summits?
Well, we are no government, so we cannot implement. But we are futuristic in nature. We know that similar fora have been had in the past, and their reports are lying there and gathering dust. What we intend to do is to ensure that we continuously and consistently make this remain in the front burner of discussions. We have realized, according to research that we have conducted, yes, Nigerians are not happy, Nigerians are angry, Nigerians are frustrated, a lot of them. But the good thing that we have come out with from our consultations across the country is that Nigerians love this country, and no Nigerian wants to see Nigeria fail. The anger, the frustration is just because Nigerians believe that this country has no business being where it is today. It ought to be up there competing with the best. Now, since we are agreed on that, we feel that we can turn that anger into positive energy.
Okay, that's a good, move by the Institute and, of course, the partners. But is there a role that you think governments can play in all of this?
Oh, definitely. Government is a very, very critical stakeholder in this. At the end of the day, when we are done with what we are doing, we are going to have to report to the government. This is what we have done. This is what Nigerians think are the problems, and these are what they think are the solutions to the problems. And we believe that if government does A, B, C, we are going to be laying a solid foundation for the resolution of the problems that are bedeviling the country at the moment.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mukhtar Zubair Sarajo, Chairman of Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Thank you for coming, and wish you all the best in this. Of course, we want to see a better Nigeria.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Let's head to the courtroom now. The Federal High Court in Abuja has nullified the ratification of the suspension of Joyce Odua as Secretary General of the Nigerian Bar Association. The ratification, effected by the National Executive Council of the NBA, was on Tuesday voided and set aside by the court on the ground that the action was an affront to the rule of law and violation of court's proceedings in the matter. Justice Ahmed Ramat Mohammed, while ruling in an application filed and argued by the counsel of the plaintiff, held that the NBA's NEC, which gave legal effect to the suspension of the plaintiff, acted in bad faith and in disregard to the proceedings of the court. The court has fixed August 31 for hearing in a motion on notice seeking mandatory order of injunction against the defendants in the suit. Few days after their arrest, Yobe State Police Command has paraded 2 Nigerian Army personnel suspected for the murder of a renowned Yobe State Islamic scholar on Guru Gashua Highway last Friday. The command similarly paraded a kidnap kingpin terrorizing communities in some parts of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. Adam Yusuf reports.
The 241 Reka Battalion Guru were arrested by Karasua Divisional Police Office following a distress call. Preliminary investigations revealed that the late cleric Koni Aisami, who was traveling from Guru to Gashua, offered a lift to his unsuspecting assailant to a nearby village, Jajimaji, who allegedly shot him before reaching their destination.
After we have sent them a letter that we have arrested suspected homicide of one of the cleric in Gashua, they came and they confirmed that yes, these are their military personnel. An investigation, we are doing it collaboratively.
In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the murder of a Yobe State-based Islamic cleric, Sheikh Goni Aisami, Varkala's soldier, who had offered a lift as confirmed by the police. President Buhari said this barbaric murder of a compassionate man by a soldier he had assisted has no place in our training as soldiers, and it negates the entire ethos of military life, which is anchored on discipline and respect for the sanctity of innocent lives. According to the president, as the commander-in-chief, I am personally outraged by this criminal and wicked act by a law enforcement official trained to protect life. The president called on the military authorities to punish the perpetrators of this heinous crime without delay and flush out other elements with such criminal tendencies. President Buhari condoles with Yobe State government, people of the state, and family of the victim of this tragedy. The First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, has reaffirmed her commitment to engage in private sector and other development partners towards ending tuberculosis in Nigeria. The First Lady stated this in a message during the courtesy visit of the Executive Director, Stop Tuberculosis Partnership, Dr. Lucicia D2. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
Tuberculosis remains a global health challenge, with developing countries being the highest burden. Statistics by the World Health Organization ranked Nigeria 6th in the world among the countries with the highest TB burden. The statistics further placed Nigeria among the 10th countries, accounting for over 70% of the global gap in TB case detection and notification. The desire to increase access to TB diagnosis and control is what formed the visit of the Executive Director, Stop TB Partnership, Dr. Lucy Kaditiu, to the First Lady.
Over the last 2-3 years, Nigeria is between the very few countries that showed amazing progress in spite of the COVID and in spite of all the problems. However, this increase, which is remarkable, and as I said, between the most countries showed a drop. Here we show an increase. But the increase still leaves a huge gap. Almost half of the people with TB in Nigeria are not diagnosed or treated.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Administration and Women Affairs, who stood in for the First Lady, enumerated the First Lady's input through the Future Assured program towards addressing the disease through diagnosis and medication in various parts of the country. First Lady assured them of doing everything possible towards addressing tuberculosis.
We must put in place some structures that will facilitate continuity. What we are after is sustainable development. Of what she has started, because she has done a lot of work in this area. After attending the New York summit, she has come back to Nigeria to mobilize the First Ladies like we all had. She has appointed them as champions of the ambassadors of Stop TB. She has also invested through her Aisha Buhari Foundation and Future Assured some funds which she had to campaign by really screening a lot of Nigerians from TB.
With Nigeria showing capacity in dealing with the scourge, it is expected that more needs to be done, especially the need for intensifying the campaign on dangers and prevention of the disease, which is preventable through free access to medication. From the State House, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
And away from health, as many communities continue to reel under floods across Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari assures that the situation is under continuous monitoring, and the government at the center will keep sending teams to assess the situation with a view to rendering all necessary help. The president extends heartfelt condolences on behalf of the nation to communities that have lost their relatives, suffered extensive damage to property, and ensured the destruction of crops and farmlands. While expressing his concern over the hardship being faced by people due to this natural calamity, the president noted that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, had written to each of the 36 states of the Federation through the states' respective governors, advising on the appropriate action to take in view of the gloomy forecasts of the rains this year. The president notes that each of the three tiers, the local government, the state government, and the federal government, have a sizable budget at its disposal, allocated monthly precisely for dealing with these state-level natural emergencies, as well as federal agencies dedicated to doing the same. It is not clear why some of the state governments in question are not already drawing upon these funds to tackle the current emergency, and the general population is misguided, calling on the federal government to intervene in all situations. If those monies are, for whatever reason, no longer available, the affected states and local councils must immediately contact the relevant authorities to explain what has happened with those funds. Let's have a feel of the Center of Excellence, where Adiola will bring us more news. Adiola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Inyere. The Bank of Industry is partnering Mauritius Commercial Bank in a move designed to encourage African institutions to work together in areas of innovative financial transactions. Amaka Owo has the details.
In line with its mandate, the Bank of Industry is always at the forefront of transforming Nigeria's industrial sector, looking out for well-priced initiatives across the financial ecosystem to support Nigerian businesses. A continuous partnership between the Bank of Industry and the Mauritius Commercial Bank is targeted at pushing and actualizing this objective.
There are foreign companies, either oil and gas or different sectors, commodities, who might want to come into Nigeria through your bank. You have a bank in Nigeria that you can use as a sounding board, and also we might partner with you, depending on the nature of the transaction, to actually put our funds into it, to make it easier for you, and knowing that you have a willing partner to work with in Nigeria.
Representatives of the Mauritius Commercial Bank say the financial institution has a total assets put at $16 billion and a market capitalization of $1.5 billion. This sure provides a safe outlook for servicing corporates in Africa.
We also service a few multinational corporates doing business across the continent. We service a number of private equity funds as well on the continent, which is a very important part of our business.
The Bank of Industry, on its part, has continued to enjoy relevance in the national economy by providing assistance for the establishment and growth of large, medium, and small projects across the country. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
And not done with the BOI, a partnership that will see the Bank of Industry assessing €100 million credit under the Transformation Financial Systems for Climate program has been signed between the bank and the French Development Agency, AFD. The AFD also approved €2.5 million for capacity building and technical assistance.
The signing of the €100 million credit line between the Bank of Industry and the French Development Agency is one of the transactions approved by the AFD under its Transforming Financial Systems for Climate program with the Green Climate Fund. The credit facility is expected to enable Nigeria mitigate the effects of climate change, bedeviling the nation through specific projects targeting renewable energy, low carbon emissions, and efficient energy generation.
This fund will be channeled to financing investments that contribute mitigation and adaptation measures to climate change towards promoting low emission transition in Nigeria.
Country Director, French Development Agency, says the financial program is timely.
But the bank also has to build its capacity to convince its customers and I would say main industries in the country to do some climate smart and friendly investments. And if they exhaust the fund by, I would say, even 1 year, we'll be happy to do more with them.
The Transforming Financial Systems for Climate program is a $650 million program developed in 17 countries. It is a 10-year facility for 100% climate investment projects. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos. Be reminded that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screens. The news will continue after this time out. Don't go away.
Where's Glory? Excuse me, ma'am.
Where's Glory now?
You don't go village, tell all our customer abi. Everybody pay attention. See, now Globe relocated 10x. Now him I they take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credit when I load. Why even summer me double data join?
So with 1.5 when they give on the box, so you they enjoy up to
15,000 naira credit and data. And I say I never finish you. See, I say we enjoy when I join Globe relocated 10x. When I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits, you just carry your phone, dial *777#. Glow, you don't win. Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Please said now Glow with the fine. Now Glow with the go. So
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow Berekete 10X. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
Nigeria Gulf Federation announces its first Nigeria Gulf Federation Summit. This summit will discuss salient topical issues that relate to the development and upliftment of Gulf in Nigeria. Chairman General IBM Haruna, special guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Sports Mr. Sunday Dare, convener Otumba Olusegun Mushewe, OON, President Nigeria Gulf Federation, date 31st August to 2nd September 2022. Venue Ladikwali Hall, Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. prompt. This event is supported by Polaris Bank, Nigerian Television Authority NTA, Africa Independent Television AIT, Gulf Garden, Anchor Insurance and Royal Ceramics. Otumba Olusegun Mushewe, OON, President Nigeria Gulf Federation, announcer.
The power, the performance, concentrated power, concentrated performance, the partnership of concentrated power. Salty, the official regional partner of Paris Saint-Germain.
You're always running around. Keeping up with you needs a comforting touch from Huggies with the right stretch for how much you move. Huggies pants comfortably fit baby's tummy. Their 360-degree comfort fit waistband makes them easy to open and pull off and on. So baby can keep on exploring and you keep doing great, Mom.
Now in a new look pack.
Join us to stop crude oil and product theft at production sites, on the pipeline, at terminals, at the depots, on vessels, at refineries. Help stop crude oil and product theft. Report infringements to www.stopcrudetheft.com. You can also validate genuine purchase at validate.stopcrudetheft.com. Please report and be rewarded. This message is from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company.
Music is fuel that fires up our souls. Today, African music has a dominant place on the world map. This massive music movement creating waves across the globe.
I have seen the evolution and the growth of this industry.
But every movement starts with a story. And the best place to start any story is at the very beginning.
There's a harmonious energy that can only have come from Africa.
Thank you. Hi there. You can price shop, but you're always saving on everything except for here. This is where you're throwing money down the drain. How? On this cleaning product. Impossible. You need the new Harpic toilet cleaner. With just 130 naira sachet of Harpic toilet cleaner, you save more. Harpic stick formula stays longer, so it cleans 10 times better. Wow, Helen! And it saves because it's only 30 naira, giving you a sparkling clean toilet and great savings too.
Let's have some business news with Benny Adams.
Thank you, Henry, and welcome to business. Start by telling you that Nigeria records 63.37% increase in the volume of non-oil export between January and June 2022. The Executive Director, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, disclosed this while briefing newsmen on the progress made within Q2 of the year.
Products got 36.28%, total of 4,146,534 metric tons of product worth $2.5 billion were exported between January to June 2020.
And taking a look at the markets, Nigeria's equities continued losing a streak on Tuesday as the all-share index declined by 1.58% to close at 48,554.76 basis points. 204.1 million shares worth 3.1 billion naira were traded in 3,533 deals. M-Benefits, Zenith Bank and FBN were top three in volume. That is business news, Nyeri. Over to you.
Many thanks, Benny. Nigeria, like other democracies, yearns for an electoral process that meets internationally accepted standards. A legislation seeking to enable the establishment of a National Electoral Offences Commission is in the works at the House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Lamiale reports that the bill aims at improving the credibility of the electoral process.
The amended Electoral Act 2022 is the new compass for Nigeria's electoral voyage. The recently conducted governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun provided an avenue for test trial as the nation prepares for the general elections 6 months from now. Stakeholders at this public hearing share their perspectives on the proposed legislation, which will serve as a mechanism to block all loopholes that give room for violation of the electoral process.
We believe it will make the space to become a very, very organized, space. There will be no impunity as we observe today.
All violators of our electoral laws should be subjected. Don't leave that responsibility to INEC. We have no power to make arrests. And some of the offenders may be INEC officials. We can't prosecute ourselves.
To provide Nigerians the assurance of a legal framework for the investigation, prosecution of electoral offences and for the general improvement of the electoral process in Nigeria.
It should really give the outlook of independence and impartiality.
The National Electoral Offences Commission, when established, may just be the platform for Nigeria's democratic revolution.
The conduct of free, fair and credible elections in the cornerstone of every democracy.
The view of the past elections indicate that the need for the National Assembly to take necessary legislative steps to address, identify challenges and plug the loopholes encountered with the conduct of elections in this country. I know that some of the challenges may require constitutional amendments.
Our expectation is that this public hearing will produce an outcome that will go a long way in strengthening the electoral environment and law and further deepen our democracy.
The House of Representatives hopes to pass the bill soon to fast-track harmonization with the Senate and presidential assent before 2023. Meanwhile, security-related committees of the House of Representatives are meeting with security and intelligence communities as the House investigates the July 5th, 2022 attack on Kuje Custodial Center, during which hundreds of inmates escaped.
The House of Representatives is not unaware of the huge commitment by the federal government and all national security and intelligence agencies in addressing the series of our national security challenges. This methodology will enable the committee to make appropriate recommendations to address the identified gap through effective policy and legal frameworks.
The engagement continued behind closed doors from the National Assembly. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Our last break is due. Please stay.
Join us to stop crude oil and product theft at production sites, on the pipeline, at terminals, at the depots, on vessels, at refineries. Help stop crude oil and product theft. Report infringements to www.stopcrudetheft.com. You can also validate genuine purchase at validate.stopcrudetheft.com. Please report and be rewarded.
This message is from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company and
It's been a long day, and nothing could feel better than sleeping comfortably. So relax. You won't be bothered by leakage or irritation tonight. Huggies Dry Comfort has a super fast dry layer that quickly absorbs wetness for all night dryness and comfort. So baby can wake up comfy and dry as the night before. And you keep doing great, Mom.
Now in a new look pack, available from 650 naira.
Forget last season. Forget the winners and the losers. Forget every moment that stole the show. Because this is a brand new season on GoTV. And it's going to be bigger and better than any season before it. With over 7 leagues and top competitions, plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seats in the house this new football season. Get a decoder, GoTenna, plus 1 month GoTV Max for 6,900 naira only. Bigger season, greater football. GoTV. Love it.
Our pastors, our imams, in every church, in every mosque. Please realize that in the course of praying for peaceful and transparent elections, we all have duties beyond prayers. If we want a stable society before, during, and after the elections, what should you be saying to those that worship with you? All Sundays and all Fridays, you are saddled with the responsibility of bringing up good generations. It is therefore your duty to both man and God to ensure peace all the time, no matter about elections alone. People talk to people and people listen. Talk to your followers. Make them listen to ensure peaceful 2023 elections. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
And that's a package on the Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching. I encourage you to join the League of Stars by standing against rape and rapists. I'm Yen Ray John. Have a good night.